Hi, Dr. Mel, and we're busy with vectors. And when we do vectors, we've got to work with flat surfaces as well as slopes. So let's have a look at the forces when we're working with a slope. So I've got a 10 kilogram mass here, which is actually lying on top of a slope. Now, we usually will have the angle. Let's say this is 45 degrees, but it can be 30, it can be anything. The one thing that you have to remember is that this mass here, which is 10 kilograms, will actually have a force pulling it down towards Earth at the bottom here. And can you remember what we call that force? That force was the gravitational force. And remember, that is a perpendicular force towards the Earth. Now, in this section, we will have to take that force and actually find the components of that force. If I quickly just taking you back, if I had a force like that, can you remember that we actually found a horizontal and a vertical component? Now, in this case, we've got the weight and we want to find the two components. Now, it cannot be horizontal or vertical because I've got this slope here. And we are now going to find the components of the weight. Now, let me quickly draw the components on this diagram. So I've got the weight there, and I'll find this weight, which is the resultant, will be composed of two components. The one will be the parallel line there. This is parallel to what? To the slope. So you'll have this parallel and you will call it the component of the gravitational force parallel. The other one will be the one that's perpendicular to the slope. So do you see that is there 90 degrees and I've got a perpendicular. So that one will be the perpendicular component. So I've got the parallel and the perpendicular component. We are going to do that and find a triangle in order for us to find the components of the weight. So never ever draw all of the components plus the weight. You can either draw the weight, which is that line, and then you can draw the two components as I've got it there in dotted lines. If you want to draw it in a solid line, you can only use yellow because none of the markers in an exam will use yellow pen. So be careful. I'd rather stick to the dotted line. You can then draw those two there and remember what we called them just now. We said this one is the parallel component. Let me just do that in another color. This one here is the parallel component. And this one there is the perpendicular component. Of what? Well, obviously of the weight or the gravitation. So that one will be the perpendicular and this one will be the parallel. Now, how do I find the angles? We are going to try and get a triangle. We're going to take that line there and we're going to close this triangle here. Do you see that one? And that one are absolutely parallel. Let's just go back and say we're going to take that component, which is the perpendicular, and we're going to complete our triangle. And what I have now is a triangle here between the slope and the weight. And now I've got to put in the different angles. And that is quite difficult. So let's go to a triangle which I drew. I've got here a triangle which is the larger one. This one here, there it is with the slope. Can you see? And that one there. Let's say this angle is 30 degrees. On the slope, we've got this mass lying there with the weight firstly there and the two components. And remember we said that one will be the perpendicular and this one will be the parallel. So you've got the forces there. Let's go and see how we find the angles. Let's work with the bigger one. The bigger one says, I've got here a right angle. Is that true? Yes, it's true. Remember when we were here? This was a right angle there. So we're going back there and we say that is a 90-degree angle. They also said this angle here is 30 degrees. That's the slope. That one there being 30 degrees. So I've got the 90 and the 30. And can you tell me what the other angle could be? Well, correct. If I add the 90 and the 30, I get 120. And if I deduct 120 from 180, I will actually find that that angle there will be then an angle of 60 degrees. So we've got the angles of the large triangle. Let's quickly have a look. This one is 90 degrees, this one is 30 degrees, and that one is 60 degrees. If I took the small triangle and I took it away, I actually have there the object with the weight. Now remember, the weight you have, because if I have the mass, say, let's say for instance 10 kilogram, I know the weight or this component is 10 times 9.8, which gives me a weight of 98 newtons. That weight is composed by a perpendicular and a parallel component. And for this slide, I actually just want to show you the angles. So what I have here is I've got my 90 degrees there. Where's the 90 degrees in this triangle? Do you see that's 90 degrees? Because this line is perpendicular to the slope. So I've got 90 degrees in this angle, triangle, and I've got 90 degrees there. I also have that angle there as 60. And if that angle there is 60, and we continue with this one here, and that is 60, I can then say, well, then that angle will also be 60. And if this angle here is 60, you will find that that angle there is 60. Now, you know you work with congruent triangles. So, the only remaining angle is the slope, which was 30 degrees. And the only remaining angle in this small triangle is 30 degrees. So what you always have is the inside angles of the small triangle. Let's go back to gravitational forces and the components. So I've got this object here. Let's keep to our 10 kilograms, which makes this force downwards as 980. No, it's just 98 newtons. Now, let us see if I can find these components. This one is the parallel and that one is the perpendicular. What do I know? I know that angle will be the same as that one. So if this is a 30-degree triangle, that one will be a 30-degree angle. Be very careful that you actually get the right angles so that you can work with trigonometry. Now, let's say this is my triangle. There I have it. There it is. And I've got that 30 degrees there. Just quickly, I have this value. It's right across the right angle. So this is the hypotenuse. This side here will be opposite to the 30. So I'll find that with sine. And this one will be adjacent to the 30. So that I'll do with cos. So always make sure that you get the triangle. Now let's find a few of the forces and see if you can identify. I've got that there. I always draw that first. I know if it's a 10 kilogram, I've got 98 newtons drawing down. That weight will slide down. It will slide down the slope and it will have components like that. And as I said to you, rather draw that with dotted lines. So I've got that one. It's a dotted line that side for the parallel, and it's a dotted line that side for the perpendicular. What do I have more than that? I also have the normal force. Remember, we did a normal in a previous lesson. And now, just to introduce to you that if this is going downwards, there will always be a frictional force up there, which we also covered in one of the lessons. So I've got friction there, I've got the normal from the surface, and I had gravitation. Gravitation consisted of a parallel force as well as a perpendicular force. And then you'll just have to see what they ask you. If they ask you, this is going down, you know this one will be larger than that one. If it says it's going up, well, that's different. Then that will be your applied force and this will be your frictional force. So always make sure that you can identify the right forces on an angle. There again, you've got your weight. It consists of a parallel and a perpendicular component, and make sure that you know what the normal is. And in this diagram, we also have the frictional force. Just to conclude again, I have to know that I've got all the forces if I'm being asked to draw a diagram. I've got a 50 kilogram crate. It's placed on a slope with an angle of 30 with the horizontal. Now first read and then try and draw. If I say this is the horizontal and I've got a 30-degree angle, then I've got the crate there, and if I go back, it said it's 50 kilograms. So let's do the 50 kilograms there, and immediately, please guys, immediately work out what would you find the weight to be. So I go to my equation, which says mass times 9.8, which in this case is 50 times 9.8. And if you do it accurately, you'll find an answer of 490. What is the components? Well, this one will be the perpendicular component. And this one will be the, now let me use a nice color so that you can see, that one will be the parallel. Now remember, we will be working in this triangle. And remember, that was a right angle. That angle there was equal to this one here. Do you remember? It was that one there. So it was equal to this one. So the 30 here is the one that you are going to use, and you're going to complete that top angle there as 30. So I've got a triangle looking like this. I've got 30 degrees there. I know this downward force is 490, and I can now calculate the opposite of the 30. And the opposite over the hypotenuse is sine of 30 degrees. Now quickly do that calculation and see if you find the 245 newtons that I got. This one, on the other hand, is the adjacent to the 30 degrees, and that is the parallel force, which is the adjacent over the hypotenuse, which is the cos of 30 degrees. Let's go back to our question. The box does not slide down. It is standing still. Calculate the magnitude and direction of the frictional force. Now, if we go back, if this is the side where the parallel is going down, and we calculated that just now as 245. So I calculated that component as 245 Newton. And if this is lying still, then obviously the force upward would be exactly the same as the force downward. And what will keep it there? Well, the friction. So my answer will be, my frictional force will be exactly the same as that. So the frictional force, which I abbreviate like that, is 245 newtons, and the direction will be up the slope, or you can just indicate it with an arrow on your diagram. I hope you understood where we got the angles from. But remember, that angle there at the top will always be the same as the angle of the slope. find your gravitational force, take that to work out the two components, and remember to put your normal in there as well, which will also help to do the frictional calculations. But that we'll do in another lesson. Important slopes. You will be asked to do slopes. Differentiate between gravitational force and the 9.8. Calculate the gravitational force and the normal, and from the gravitational force, find your parallel and your perpendicular components. You will be asked this in grade 11 as well as in grade 12, so make sure that you can do these calculations. Hope you understood. Bye.